So I've been asked, do I think the president can enforce martial law and cancel the midterm elections? My succinct answer is no. And I'm drawing that conclusion based on historical precedent as well as the logistics behind doing something like that. But I want to add 3 qualifications to this conversation. The first qualification is that while martial law and canceling the midterm elections altogether is unlikely, there is no coincidence that this conflict was started going into this election cycle, while at the same time drafting an executive order that would nationalize our elections and require everyone to re-register. And this should be cause for great concern because, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, these things are not disjointed or disconnected. They are all part of the same puzzle. When we look at the rating of Fulton County ballots, the request for states voter rolls, the gerrymandering of congressional maps, the Supreme Court case of Louisiana v. Cale, the fact that the SAVE Act was drafted in the first place, and now this executive order to federalize our elections, understand that these things are all working in tandem to make voting more difficult and less accessible because this administration is concerned and nervous going into the midterms because they are aware of how poorly received and how highly unpopular their policies are amongst the American people. We also continue to see this unfounded claim made by the president as it relates to voter fraud and election interference, citing this as the reason he wishes to nationalize elections in the first place. So I would not be surprised if he used this conflict and capitalized on this conflict that he chose to start in order to continue pushing the idea of election interference and the need for a nationalized election. The second qualification hinges on the idea that you cannot impeach a president during wartime. So the midterms happen, Congress flips as it is projected to do, but this is still a way to subvert accountability because you cannot impeach a president, according to him, during wartime. And understand this is also why you see a lot of declarations of indefinite emergency in the nation, because he believes that this will prevent him from having to face accountability and be held accountable for his actions and unlawful use of the executive branch. And the third qualification is that while I do have historical precedent to lean my reasoning upon, there are sometimes things that happen in an unprecedented fashion and things that are unprecedented that occur. We've seen that time and time again. So never say never. I will say it's highly unlikely, but I also understand that in the grand scheme of things, anything is possible. And even though we have precedent, historically speaking, to suggest that this is unlikely and won't happen, I put nothing past this administration, who has demonstrated their willingness to act unlawfully and unconstitutionally since day one.